on another topic, would the president sign legislation to create a commission to investigate the January 6th attack?
Well, I saw an announcement, I believe it was yesterday, if I'm remembering correctly, by Speaker Pelosi, or some comments, I should say. It's, of course, Congress's decision to form this commission, as we've talked about a bit in here, but it's certainly one the president would support. And President Biden has made clear his views on the tragic events of January 6th, including where responsibility for them lies. He backs efforts to shed additional light on the facts to ensure something like that never happens again. In addition to the recently announced desire to put together a commission or form a commission, we'll continue to work with Congress to identify measures that the federal government can take going forward to prevent violence we saw on January 6th. And as you know, probably, Mary, there's a number of hearings that are upcoming in the coming weeks, and we'll be cooperative with those, of course.
What would you hope to learn through a commission? Because obviously we saw a very thorough airing of the events last week.
Well, again, I don't think the tenets of the commission have been formed. That's up to Congress to do. We have a role to play in the federal government, of course, with ongoing investigations out of the Department of Justice, but he supports efforts to move forward with it, the desire to have one, certainly understanding and knowing how much the events on the 6th impacted members sitting on the Hill. Go ahead.
Jen, thank you. The president, yourself, have frequently cited what you describe as the failures or the shortcomings of the Trump administration as it relates to their response to COVID. We're now nearly a month into this administration. Does the Biden administration now own the coronavirus response?
Well, certainly the President of the United States owns the response to the COVID pandemic. That's why he is focused on it every single day. However, it's important for the American people to know what we inherited when the president came into office. And what he inherited was not enough supply, not enough vaccinators, not enough places for vaccinations to happen. Communities had been left to fend for themselves. And so that's what he's been focused on and working on. But certainly, if he were standing here, he would say that's why it's the issue he wakes up every morning and is focused on, because addressing it is what's on the minds of the American people. And he's the president. It's his responsibility to focus on it.
Let me ask you if I can. I want to bounce around a little bit back to the impeachment trial that just wrapped up. You guys posted a statement late on Saturday where he said the final vote, though it didn't lead to a conviction, the substance of the charge, the president said, is not in dispute. Even those opposed to the conviction, he cited Mitch McConnell, believed that Donald Trump was guilty of a disgraceful dereliction of duty, practically and morally responsible for provoking the violence unleashed on the Capitol. So if he wasn't convicted through an impeachment trial via Congress, via the Senate, how should a president who commits acts that President Biden says are not in dispute be punished?
Well, I think obviously there was a process that worked its way through the Senate. That's why we put out a statement on Saturday evening.
Does he support criminal prosecution?
That will be up to the Department of Justice to determine. We're doing something new here, and there's going to be an independent Justice Department to determine what any path forward and any investigation would look like.
Absent this president's actions, though, do you think, does something like this, does it seem, I mean, Mitch McConnell left that door open to criminal prosecution. Would actions like this, do they meet the bar for criminal prosecution?
I am not going to speculate on criminal prosecution from the White House podium. The president is committed to having an independent Justice Department that will make their own decisions about the path forward.
Let me ask you a last question if I can. It's housekeeping around here. TJ Ducklow, as we know, is no longer working for this White House. He was suspended for a week after comments that he made to a female journalist. The president, as you know, on Inauguration Day said, if you're ever working with me and I hear you treat another with disrespect, talk down to someone, I promise you I will fire you on the spot. No ifs, ands, or buts. He didn't fire TJ on the spot. He has since resigned. Has the president's position on talking down or disrespecting others changed?
I think the president leads by example, and I try to do the same. And on Saturday, when we announced that TJ Ducklow had resigned his position, something we all agreed was the right path forward, I made clear that every day we're going to try to meet the standard set out by the president in treating others with dignity and respect, with civility, and with a value for others through our words and our actions. He's no longer employed here, and I think that speaks for itself. Go ahead.